Hey everybody, this is Alman Woodson. Today I want to talk to you about God's perfect timing. Bible story in the Old Testament about Abraham and his son Isaac. Now Abraham was an older gentleman and he and his wife were unable to have kids to test Abraham's commitment. He wanted to test his commitment. And so when he went to go test his commitment, what he did was he told him, I need you to now go after you've had your son. Now that I've told you you're going to be a large nation, he has his one son. He tells him, I need you to go sacrifice your kid. Now listen. I know in some people's mind this just sounds crazy, but just follow me and listen to the story, and we will get somewhere. He told him to go sacrifice his son on the mountain, and as soon as God told him to do that, Abraham said, "You know what? This is hard, but I'm going to do it." And so he took his son up the mountain, He grabbed his son. He has the donkey. He has whatever sticks were on the donkey's back as they were traveling up the mountain for Abraham to go do what God had asked him to do. And as he's about to sacrifice his son, after he built the altar, he put the wood on it. He's about to sacrifice his son. And the story that comes in my mind is he has the knife raised to do whatever he's about to do. God tells him, Abraham, stop doing what you're doing. There's a ram who has his horns stuck in the thicket. Now, I wanted to bring that up to you because there's a part of this story that I feel like has not really ever been talked about. At least I've never really heard a story or anybody talk about it in all my years. But the thing about it is that I wanted to bring up to you the awesomeness, the importance of God's timing, because it's relevant to you and it's relevant to me. God told Abraham to go sacrifice his son. Abraham thought about it. I'm sure he thought about it and it was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. But he went and he did it anyway. And as he did it, right when he was ready to make that sacrifice, God prepared a ram in the thicket for him to sacrifice instead of his son. Now, the thing about it, God's awesome timing, is that as soon as Abraham said, okay, I'm going to go do that, God said, okay, ram, get up the mountain. Let's go. God, on the other side of the mountain, God has something else coming towards Abraham to save him from sacrificing his son. The clear beauty of that. Think about that for a moment. As Abraham committed to whatever he had to do, to his journey, to his assignment, God put something else on the other side of the mountain and said, listen, now that he's done what he has to do, you do what you have to do. It's time for you to get up that mountain, and I need you to be there at that moment, no later. Just imagine now if God had told that billy goat or whatever it was to go up there 5 minutes later, it never would have happened. God's timing is perfect. God's timing is perfect. Now, again, like I said, I'm not a biblical scholar in any way, shape, or form. It's a Bible story that I had to share with you because I saw it, I heard it, I read it, and I was like, whoa, it's the truth. God has amazing timing. The universe has many things put together on your behalf. You may not see it right now. You may not understand it. You may not understand why you are going through the things that you are going through. You may have those doubts, those fears, those contemplations that you are not doing what it is that you're supposed to do. But as long as you keep along your journey, things will happen for you that are supposed to happen. People will come into your life that are supposed to be there at the right time, at the appointed time. This is a perfectly orchestrated universe. Things happen in order. I don't have the answers for you as to why certain things happen the way they do, but they do. Let me tell you a story in my life where God's perfect timing worked out. When I first moved up here to New York, I got a job at this large international bank. I was working on a contract, and the contract had a time frame to where at a certain point it was going to end. And at that time, I didn't know what else I was going to do. I had no other idea as to what was going to happen in my life or in my wife's life or in my family's life, how I was going to be able to provide. And I made my request known. God, I don't know what's going to happen, but I need something. And at the time, I didn't know what I would do. I had no idea. And like I said, I worked at this large international bank down on Wall Street. And at the time, like I said, I didn't have any other plans. And so I just was daily making my request known, like, God, listen, I need something to work. I need you to work something out at the time. This is several years ago. And one day I was just like, I was working, I was on the contract was coming to the end. I think it was almost, I was either 2 weeks away from the end of it or something like that, something kind of crazy. I go into the bathroom and use the bathroom, use the facilities, and then I start washing my hand. And when I look, I'm washing my hands, and when I look to my right, it's a guy who I had met 2 years ago down in DC at a lunch. Now, I never met him. I didn't know his name, but I met him. The group of people that I was with met some of his people, and we were all just in the same group having lunch. Now, I remember at one point I was sitting like here, and he was several people down from me, and we never really met. I didn't really know his name or anything like that. But here he is. I'm washing my hands. He's washing his hands. And I said, "Yeah, what's up, man? I know you. I know you from DC. When did you say, do you live in DC?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "I knew the such and such a person, and we all went to lunch one time, and we met at certain place, at this place, and so what are you doing here?" He said, "Oh my gosh, I remember that. How you doing, man?" Oh, he was hiring someone to be on his team. At the time, I had no. So we get to talking. Okay, we're in the bathroom sitting there talking, and then we walk out and everything. We exchange information. I met this guy. I reconnected with a guy I hadn't seen, hadn't heard from, hadn't talked to. I didn't even know his name. He on the 32nd floor of a large international bank in New York City. Now, I could not have made that up anywhere. God's perfect timing. God's perfect timing. Next thing you know, I get hired to work on his team. Like, I mean, I could not have put together the story on for any reason. I could not have put this together. Things work out on your behalf on purpose because they are orchestrated by God. You may not see what's happening. You may not understand what's going on, but things are working out. God has a plan for you. Now listen, I'm not trying to get preachy, but it's just like when I think about these things that have happened in my life and there's so many stories. I could spend hours talking to you about situations that have occurred in my life just recently, just new things. But this is the amazing thing that, listen, don't give up. This is a message of encouragement to tell you to don't give up, because you don't know what God has in store for you. You don't know the steps that he has in plan, the things that he has in store for you, that you have no idea. I may be going through this, I'm going through that. Think about the things that were going through Abraham's mind as he was walking up that mountain. Think about the horrors that he were going through his mind. Thinking about the pain that he was dealing with, the doubt, the confusion. Yes, we all have it. The doubt, the confusion, doubting yourself, doubting your skills. But keep going. Don't stop, because at the end, it's going to be a beautiful day, and God's going to make a way for you. Now listen, I know I'm well over my 5 minutes of motivation, but listen, this is just something that I had to share it, because sometimes it's so easy to lose faith because the situations, the circumstances will be screaming and yelling at you so loud, it's hard to hear. It's hard to encourage yourself. But just know that there's a plan, that there's a God who loves you, that cares about you, and wants you to succeed. Push, keep going. This is Elman Woodson with your 5 minutes of motivation. I will see you on the other side. Thank you.